Good evening, students. Now, today we will discuss about the interdisciplinary approach of psychology. Now, psychology, as we know, is a study of human behavior, and any discipline which deals with people recognizes its relevance. So, psychology is a study of human behavior, that is true. Alright, because psychology is a social science as well. Apart from being a biological science, it is also a social science. So, any discipline which deals with people would definitely recognize the relevance of psychology in each and every aspect of it. Now, this trend has led to the emergence of interdisciplinary approach to the field of psychology. Researchers and scholars in science, social science, as well as humanities have felt the significance of psychology in varied fields. You can see this approach clearly that in studying brain and behavior, psychology's presence can be seen in various subjects like neurology, physiology, biology, medicine, and computer science. Means psychology is playing an important role in all these areas, in all these disciplines. In studying human behavior in socio-cultural context, psychology can be taken help from in field of anthropology. We can see the presence of psychology in fields of anthropology, sociology, social work, political science, as well as economics. Now, in various other cognitive activities which are involved in fields of art and literature, we can also see psychology, presence of psychology in these disciplines. Means psychology is also related with literature, art, and music. In the later slides, we will see how they are related, how different fields in studying these different subjects, psychology's presence can be seen in them. Now, firstly, let's see how psychology is related with philosophy. Now, certain philosophical concerns, psychology, I would like to tell you that it has come up from philosophy only. Psychology is Initially, psychology was not studied as a separate subject. That is why the history of psychology is not very old. बहुत पुराना सब्जेक्ट नहीं है ये. Alright. In fact, psychology जो है ये philosophy से ही होके आया है, philosophy से ही निकल के आया है. So certain philosophical concerns like the nature of mind, how humans come to know their motivation and emotion were initially the concerns of philosophers. Okay, but until the end of 19th century, these concerns became a part of contemporary psychology. Particularly when Wilhelm Wundt, who is considered as the father of experimental psychology, along with other psychologists, adopted an experimental approach. Alright, they adopted an experimental approach to understand the various phenomena. Alright, see, experimental approach was done because Wilhelm Wundt was the first person who established the first psychology laboratory in the world in Leipzig, Germany. Leipzig is the name of a place where the first psychology laboratory was established by Wilhelm Wundt. So until the end of 19th century, these concerns, which were initially concerns of philosophers, like several questions like how mind works, nature of mind, how humans come to know about their motivations and emotions, all these were initially concerns of the philosophers. The philosophers used to think about these issues. But later on, at the end of the 19th century, these concerns became a part of contemporary psychology, and in topics को, in issues को, बहुत ही साइंटिफिक वे में स्टडी किया जाने लगा व्हेन विल्हेम वुंड केम अप to establish the first psychology laboratory. Okay, Wilhelm Wundt, along with other psychologists, adopted an experimental approach to understand the various phenomena. So, psychology has emerged from philosophy, but after the emergence of psychology as a science, it takes a scientific approach to understand the various domains of human nature. This is how psychology and philosophy are related with each other. Now we will study how psychology is playing an important role in the field of medicine. Now a large number of hospitals are actually employing psychologists. Alright, आजकल hospitals में psychologists को भी employ किया जाता है because the role of psychologists in hospitals are numerous. We can say that where the work of surgeons, doctors, and you can say where the work of medicine ends, the work of psychologists begin. Alright? So, the role of psychologists in hospitals is firstly preventing people from engaging into health hazardous behaviors and also making them adhere to the various prescribed doctor's regimen. Alright, particularly while treating patients who are suffering from cancer, which means diseases in which the person actually needs moral support. The person morally he gets demotivated, demoralized. He feels that means it is now the time, I will not live anymore. I will die any time. Like this type of negative feelings जब व्यक्ति के अंदर एक lack of confidence develop होता है, क्योंकि ये ऐसी बीमारियां हैं जिसकी आज तक लोगों को लगता है कि बस अब टाइम आ गया है, अब कुछ किया नहीं जा सकता, अब शायद मैं जीऊँ भी कि नहीं पता नहीं, ज़िंदगी का कोई भरोसा नहीं है. इस तरह की फीलिंग्स जब लोगों में आती हैं, पर्टिकुलरली इन ट्रीटिंग पेशेंट्स लाइक कैंसर, एड्स and various physically challenged individuals or handling patients in ICU and patients during post-operative care. Doctors definitely feel the need of psychologists for the psychological counseling of these patients. It is because in such cases the patients need moral support, patients need counseling so that the willingness to live can be enhanced. Now, psychotherapies can be used along with medication and other treatments. So here the role of psychologists have been felt, and nowadays psychologists are employed in hospitals, in various such institutions. Now we will discuss about the role of psychology in economics. Now this seems really absurd that how is economics, how can psychology be present in subjects like economics? So psychology has contributed to a great deal to the study of micro level economic behavior. Micro level economic behavior यानी कि एक सिंगल कंज्यूमर का बिहेवियर. एक सिंगल कंज्यूमर का मतलब हम लोग जो चीज़ें खरीदते हैं, जो चीज़ें means the public actually. Every individual is known as the individuals who are indulging into micro level economic behavior. Psychology is seen to have contributed to a great deal to study the micro level economic behavior. यानी कि एक एक इंडिविजुअल का माइक्रो लेवल, एक एक इंडिविजुअल का इकोनॉमिक बिहेवियर कि व्यक्ति कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करना चाहता है, व्यक्ति किन चीज़ों के प्रति डिमांड एक्सप्रेस करता है या कौन सी चीज़ें उसको पसंद नहीं है, कौन सी चीज़ें उसकी ज़रूरतों की है, कौन सी चीज़ें उसके लिए नीड्स हैं, कौन कंफर्ट है, कौन से लग्जरीज हैं. ये सारी चीज़ें, इस तरह के जो कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर्स हैं एट माइक्रो लेवल कैन बी अंडरस्टूड विद द हेल्प ऑफ साइकोलॉजी. यानी कि कंज्यूमर की साइकोलॉजी को समझने के लिए knowledge of psychology is very helpful for the modern day economists. All right, so particularly we can see that psychology has helped the economists to understand the economic behavior. And what type of behaviors? Consumer behavior, consumer saving behavior, and various decision making in terms of the economic this thing, the economic aspect of them. व्यक्ति कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करने की डिसीजन लेता है, व्यक्ति किन किन चीज़ों में डिसीजन लेता है. This can be understood by trying to understand the psychology of these individuals. You know, American economists have used the data on consumer sentiments to predict the economic growth. H. Simon, D. Kahneman, and T. Schelling received even Nobel Prize in economics to work on such problems. So इस तरह से हम देख सकते हैं कि साइकोलॉजी फील्ड में अगर इकोनॉमिस्ट को नॉलेज हो तो वो और भी अच्छे से इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज को फ्रेम कर सकता है, बिकॉज ही विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द साइकोलॉजी ऑफ कंज्यूमर्स, मीन्स हाउ दे सेव, how they purchase things, what are their needs, and how they take decisions regarding the economic aspect of them. All right, so this is how psychology can be helpful also in formulating effective economic policies and also studying various economic situations, various situations with the help of, by actually understanding the psychology of the consumers, psychology of the public. Now we will see how psychology is related to political science. So political science also draws considerably from psychology in understanding issues which are related to exercise of power and authority, nature of political conflicts and their resolutions, means किस तरह के political conflicts हो रहे हैं और उनको किस तरह से resolve किया जाए, लोगों की psychology को समझ के पॉलिटिक्स किस तरह से इफेक्टिव किया जाए, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी में जो लोग हैं, जो जनता है, उनके बारे में किस तरह से हम उनकी साइकोलॉजी को समझें, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली वी कैन फॉर्मुलेट वेरियस issues, we can understand, so not formulate, we can understand various issues. All right, also psychology is helpful in understanding the voting behavior of the citizens. Now let's see how psychology and sociology are related. Both are taking into account human behavior. Alright, both have a socio-cultural context. See, sociology and psychology together helps to understand and explain human behavior, in particularly socio-cultural context, because both are social sciences, both are dealing with public. Alright, so an insight can be drawn, can be attained on issues like socialization, ग्रुप एंड कलेक्टिव बिहेवियर, व्यक्ति ग्रुप में कैसे बिहेव करता है, ग्रुप के पीछे ग्रुप बिहेवियर में व्यक्ति क्या क्या वॉट एवर साइकोलॉजी इज कैरिंग ऑन, एंड वेरियस इंटर ग्रुप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स, इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द वेरियस इंटर ग्रुप कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स. These can be understood by a sociologist as well with the help of psychology, with the help of knowledge in psychology. Now let's discuss about psychology and computer science. Alright, today it is the era of artificial intelligence, and in various ways artificial intelligence is helping out people to solve many life problems. Alright, many things are included which were initially not possible, but now because of the presence of artificial intelligence, certain things could be worked out. So computer scientists and computer and software engineers are making great efforts to make computers and machines that not only are intelligent but also machines that can feel and sense as well. Alright, through the knowledge in the discipline in this field, यानी कि साइकोलॉजी में नॉलेज होने की वजह से nowadays engineers have been able to invent highly advanced machines like EEG, electroencephalograph, PET, PET scan जिसे कहते हैं, this is positron emission tomography, MRI, that is magnetic resonance imaging, and fMRI, functional magnetic resonance imaging, etc. ये कुछ एडवांसमेंट्स हैं साइंटिफिकली जो कि व्यक्ति के डायग्नोसिस में, डायग्नोसिस साइकोलॉजी वेरियस बॉडी, कौन सी बॉडी पार्ट में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, किस तरह से डायग्नोसिस को इन्होंने इन मशीन्स के द्वारा काफ़ी एडवांस एंड काफ़ी इफेक्टिव कर दिया है. So these are various machines which has definitely resulted in significant advancement in the field of cognitive sciences. Alright, this is how knowledge of psychology is helpful in computer sciences and various software engineers. Now let's discuss about how psychology is related to legal studies and criminology, psychology and law. So a skilled lawyer and a criminologist require knowledge in psychology in dealing with any legal issue. Knowledge of psychology helps in answering such questions like how well the witness remembers an accident, how well the witness can narrate the facts in the court, what factors influence the decision which is taken by the jury, that means judge, and what degree of punishment is considered just for a criminal act. क्रिमिनल या कोई भी व्यक्ति जो क्राइम कर रहा है उसकी साइकोलॉजी को समझना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. किन परिस्थितियों में उसने क्राइम किया तो क्यों किया. सिर्फ उसको सज़ा देना तो नहीं, लेकिन कुछ परिस्थितियां भी ऐसी होती हैं, व्यक्ति की कुछ मनोस्थिति भी ऐसी हो सकती है जिस वजह से वो क्राइम कर रहा है. तो एक केस को, एक क्रिमिनल केस को इफ़ेक्टिवली सॉल्व करने के लिए और व्यक्ति को जस्टिस दिलाने के लिए it is very important to understand the psychology behind a particular act. So if the lawyer has got knowledge in psychology, then he can definitely and effectively study the case, taking into account the psychology behind any crime that is committed by the individual. So psychologists can seek answers to such questions. Alright. Currently, a number of psychologists are involved in researches on such issues, the answers to which would definitely help the legal system of the country in future. Now let's see how psychology and mass communication are related to each other. The impact of psychology, the impact of media on the formation of attitudes of people and their behavior in domain where these two disciplines come together. Alright. एक तरह से देखा जाए तो मीडिया में जिस तरह से इंफॉर्मेशन को प्रेजेंट किया जाता है, the media persons consider the psychology of the individuals very closely. Alright, so the impact of media on the formation of attitudes of the people and their behaviors is the very domain where these two disciplines, psychology and mass communication, work together, come together. Media puts a significant impact on our thinking, attitudes and emotions. Alright, a journalist must know the reader's interests. रीडर के इंटरेस्ट को या व्यूअर्स के इंटरेस्ट को मीडिया पर्सन्स का या जर्नलिस्ट का जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. तभी अगर वो ये जान पाएंगे तभी वो बहुत ही इफ़ेक्टिवली अपने इंफॉर्मेशन को, न्यूज़ को प्रेजेंट कर पाएंगे कि वो हर व्यक्ति समझ सके. ओके. Psychology helps in developing the strategies for better and effective communication. Because knowledge of psychology helps the journalist to understand the human behavior as well as the changing pattern or thought process of the individuals nowadays, and then effectively taking into account their psychology, the media persons can present the information in an effective way such that better and effective communication of information is possible. A story will definitely have a better impact if it is based on the background of psychological knowledge and insight. So, this is how psychology and mass communication are working together. Now, this is the most popular field nowadays because music therapy is gaining a lot of importance in nowadays. Music and fine arts have close ties with psychology. And scientists have scientifically, even empirically means scientifically, they have tested the significance of music in improving the mental condition, the psychological conditions of the individual. Music is a very good way to overcome stress, to get relaxed from stressful conditions. There are even many diseases also, both psychological as well as physical ailments as well, which has shown significant results, positive results. So musicians in India have started experimenting with music therapy, and music therapy is gaining a lot of attention in curing various psychological disorders as well as physical ailments as well. A number of Shastriya Sangeet ya Rag are used for curing various ailments. A few of them I have presented over here, जैसे कि Rag Bhairavi. It provides relief from tuberculosis, cancer, severe cold, phlegm, sinus and toothache. Rag Todi provides relief from cold and headache. Rag Darbadi Kanada is considered to be very effective in easing tension. And Rag Malkos or Malkons helps to cure low blood pressure. So psychology and music and fine arts are closely tied to each other. Alright, and they are functioning together and bringing about radical changes in the individual's physical as well as psychological well-being. Now let's see how psychology is linked with architecture and engineering. You might feel that it is very absurd. Means, how is engineering and architecture related to psychology? See, architects must satisfy the clients by providing mental and physical space through their designs and satisfy them aesthetically. Means the individual must feel at peace. He should feel relaxed by the designs of the architecture. So knowledge of psychology can help the individual, can help the architect to understand the client's psychology, means what are their preferences, what do individuals, what do human beings love, in what type of designs do they feel themselves comfortable. It is very helpful for the architecture to have knowledge about these things, which will be possible only if he has knowledge of psychology. Okay, mechanical as well as civil engineers must take into account human habits in their plans for safety. Alright, not only for constructing houses and apartments, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स यानी कि जो मशीन्स, जो टूल्स बनाते हैं, जैसे कि वॉशिंग मशीन्स, मिक्सी, रेफ्रिजरेटर्स, so all the mechanical as well as civil engineers must take into account the human habits. Psychological knowledge helps them in a big way for designing all mechanical devices and displays in such a way that people can use them without any hassles, because people, individuals are not technically so much, advanced. They don't have a lot of technical knowledge like these mechanical engineers and civil engineers have. So after understanding the human habits, they can understand how conveniently they can make the, how they can make the devices convenient for the individuals. Okay, as for usage aspect. Now these are a few review questions which I would like all of you to do it in your notebooks, in a psychology theory notebook. Alright, try to answer them and write them in your question answers notebook, the theory notebook that I am talking about. Now let's discuss about the various human service areas, which are also known as where psychologists are at work. The psychologists nowadays are working in a variety of settings where they can apply the psychological principles for teaching and training people to cope effectively with the problems in their lives. These fields are also known as human service areas. Okay? These are the prominent human service areas: clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists, community psychologists, school psychologists, and organizational psychologists. These are the prominent human service areas. Let's begin with how clinical psychologists are helping individuals. Now, clinical psychologists particularly specialize in helping the clients with psychological or behavioral problems, in providing them therapies for various mental ailments, mental and psychological disorders, anxiety or fear, or with various stresses at home or at work. They may work as private practitioners, means they can practice privately also, and they are also employed nowadays in hospitals. Also, they can work with various mental institutions or with social agencies. Alright, they are also involved in conducting interviews and administering psychological tests to diagnose the client's problem and use various psychotherapies for treating them. It is important to mention that psychologists are different from psychiatrists. Okay, psychiatrists are MBBS doctors, means they can prescribe medicines and they can give electroconvulsive therapy, what we call shock therapy. Clinical psychologists can only work for diagnosis and can perform psychotherapy on the patients, but they cannot prescribe medicines. Alright, now let's see about counseling psychologists. Now, counseling psychologists work with persons who suffer from problems with stress, means motivational and emotional problems. The problems of the clients of counseling psychologists are relatively less serious ones, because clinical psychologists are dealing with psychological patients actually. Okay, and counseling psychologists are helping individuals to channelize, means they are actually helping them to adjust in their day to day life stressful problems. Okay, they are helping them to motivate them and trying to overcome the various frustrations actually through counseling, बातचीत के जरिए या इस तरह से. A counseling psychologist may be involved in vocational rehabilitation programs or helping persons in making professional choices or in adjusting to new and difficult situations of life, जहाँ पे लोगों को लगता है कि हम stuck up हो गए हैं, हम आगे बढ़ नहीं पा रहे हैं, कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, feeling really messed up. Counseling psychologists can be taken help from for counseling. Now, counseling psychologists work for public agencies such as mental health centers, hospitals, schools, colleges, and universities. Now, let's see about the next human service area, that is community psychologists. These community psychologists generally focus on problems related to community mental health. यानी कि they work for mental health agencies and private organizations and state government organizations, particularly to work in rehabilitation programs actually. All right, and in community based programs they work. जैसे कि in rural areas they may work to establish mental health centers. In urban areas they may design a drug rehabilitation programs. They also work with elderly old persons and physically and mentally challenged persons. The redirection and evaluation of various community based programs and plans, community based rehabilitations, is the major interest of community psychologists. Means they are actually working in communities. Okay. Now we will discuss about the school psychologists. From the name only you can guess that school psychologists particularly work in educational institutions. Alright, some school psychologists only administer tests. Some school psychologists interprets the test results to help the students with their problems. School psychologists are also taken help from in formulating the school policies as well. Alright, and also in designing the curriculums. They facilitate communication between the parents, teachers and administrators, and also provide teachers and parents with information about academic progress of the students. एक तरह से school counselors हम कह सकते हैं. Alright, so they are particularly dealing with the issues psychologically in school settings. Next is the organizational psychologists. Now organizational psychologists give help, valuable help rather, in dealing with problems that executives and employees of an organization may face in their respective roles. Alright, they provide organizations with consultancy services and organize skill training programs in order to enhance the efficiency as well as effectiveness in their work. Some organizational psychologists also specialize in human resource development, while others in organizational development and change management programs. Organizational psychologists are very helpful in resolving the conflicts, various organizational conflicts जो होते हैं superior and subordinates के बीच में, management के लोगों के बीच में. Alright, इन सब चीज़ों को एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल साइकोलॉजिस्ट बहुत अच्छे से सॉर्ट आउट कर सकता है. Alright, so this is how in organization, in business organizations also psychologists are taken help from in managing various issues in the organizational setting. So that's all for today. Thank you all and stay safe.